Wholeness, beautiful beings, wholeness, beautiful friends. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree, where we explore the spirit of Silvertree. Okay, thank you so much for listening and sharing this beautiful message. Please take whatever may resonate with you at this very moment. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, so let's jump right into this. So, the topic of this message is called understanding the language of pain of the physical form. Understanding the language of pain of the physical form. Now, we all have experience of this. It was when we came through our mother's womb. The first breath of air we inhaled, right? The coldness of that hospital room, right? It's a very shocking experience, no? So this is the room that I pulled for this wonderful topic here. Now, as you can see, it may look very familiar. This is the rune for the wild boar energy. And when you flip it over, what does it look like? The rabbit, the energy of the rabbit, right? An animal, okay? Now, our bodies, our physical form, that's our animal part of us, our primitive part of our human experience. Now, according to scientists and researchers and doctors and physicians, we've evolved over, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, so they say, right? But throughout all of this, the body is a very interesting phenomenon. I have a belief, and it may change, but I have a belief that our bodies is a spiritual biological machine. It has its own intelligence. If you can picture or perceive the smallest of the smallest of the smallest molecule within our cells, the atoms that make up physical form have a consciousness. They have an intelligence, however limited, right? If you think of the red blood cell, and there's the endoreticulum, there's the mRNA, DNA, nucleus, nuclei, cell wall, cell membrane, the ribosomes. I mean, there's a plethora of several different things going on in a cell, and that helps it function, right? And each one of these organelles is what they're called. Each one of these organelles has an intelligence, however simple it may be, right? For example, the very purpose of a cell wall is to keep, it's the gatekeeper. It allows things in and it keeps harmful things out. At least, that's my general understanding of what that is. Then you have the cell membrane, okay? Then you have the nucleus, the center, the powerhouse that keeps things going, But all of these things, no matter how simple it is, has an intelligence. The blood vessels that carry the blood has an intelligence. The heart that pumps definitely has an intelligence, right? You have the aorta, the aortic valves, right? You have the chambers of the heart. I took physical anatomy or anatomy and physiology way back in my college days, so I have some memory of the names of and the functions of these of this topic and of the organs and whatnot and the systems. You have the brain, right? Brain tissue. You have the spine. You have the spinal cord, spinal fluid. Oh man, you have the skeleton, the bones, the calcium, the ligaments, the muscles. We have so much going on, and each and every little thing that we have within our physical form has an intelligence, and it's always communicating to us. It tells us when we're hungry, it tells us when we're tired, it tells us when we're angry, it tells us when we're sad, it lets us know. But the most, I'd say, visceral way of the body communicating is through pain, through physical discomfort that we as human beings have always have has kept us alive, to be quite honest. You know, as a child, when they say don't touch that hot surface and you touch it anyway, right? There's a reason for that. You know, I know that there's ways where there's an experiment where a baby, they did this experiment where they had a child walk across to see if the child will walk across I don't know if it was a black surface or a mirror. And every time that every time that baby would come across that edge, it would stop because the body would let it, like, oh, that's dangerous. You know, these things are learned, are programmed in our evolution. But the point that I'm trying to not point, but what I'm trying to express is that when we as beings, as multidimensional beings having a human experience, tune into the language of pain and what that means, I think that it can unlock something deeper within us. With pain is uncomfortable. Pain can be torturous. There are people who live with, you know, illnesses and diseases that cause them such discomfort that they have to take medication in order to just do the simple things as toileting, eating, thinking. You know, then there are some people, it's, you know, periodic, you know, instances where they have a lot of pain. Sometimes it's, you know, some people aren't really affected, really, unless they catch a cold or a virus or they injure themselves or break bones, you know. But I find that when we have pain, physical pain, we should try to connect with it. I think our first step is oh my gosh, I'm feeling really bad. How do I make it stop? Right? That's our first step that normal human beings would be like, I need this to stop right now. So what do I need to do to stop this feeling? So we'll numb ourselves with medication or herbs, you know, just to avoid it. I'm going to use an example of a practice that I started back in 2015 or 2016. So a few years ago, from the age of 13 all the way to, I probably say 24, 25, I suffered immense, horrible menstrual cramps. I mean, I would have to plan around it. It would keep me from working. And I'm one that if, you know, I don't like calling off from work, you know, I show up. No, I would have to stop doing whatever I'm doing and go home and just lay down. It was incredibly painful. There were instances where I would vomit. The pain would be that intense, okay? And sometimes I would faint. So it would lower my blood pressure. I mean, it was pretty intense, and I think I had some kind of underlying issue with the womb that I never properly had diagnosed at the time. But when I went through one of my many spiritual awakenings, I was meditating, and it was a day where my period just started. I'm like, okay, I can't take 16 Advil pills to numb myself because that's not very good for your organs or your blood. So I said, I'm just gonna try this out. I sat in meditation, you know, and I closed my eyes, and I connected with the pain of my womb. I connected with the disconnecting, you know, part of each cramp, you know, it releases the tissue right, from the previous month, and it can be incredibly painful. And so I closed my eyes, and do you know what happened? It was really incredibly powerful. Yes, I felt discomfort, but when I didn't try to run away from it or try to sit in some weird, yogic pose, even though that at times that can be very healing and that can help treat it, but it's something about just being present with the pain that it really just helped me. It really relieved me. A lot of the time when we're in physical pain, we will retract. We will, bunch that part of the body up, right? Because it hurts so bad. But I forced myself to just stay neutral and be in a neutral meditative position, and to not put my hands over, not curl up in agony, but to really feel each release, each contraction. And so it really helped, over time, changing my diet and, taking out alcohol and certain foods, and doing certain, yogic practices, it shifted something in me. And the healing of the womb, that's a really, really big one, indicator of something else. The pain that we go through, or physical pain, is telling us something that we are unaware of. Whether you have arthritis, whether you have some sort of inflammation, whether you have a tumor, or you're fatigued a muscle, or you're just feeling discomfort, I'm going to challenge you and ask you, before you pop a pill, before you drink some herbs, sit with it for as long as you can, from 5 to 15 minutes, and just sit with it and ask questions. What are you trying to say? Womb, what are you trying to say? Or ankle, what are you trying to tell me? I'm listening. What is it? What's the block? And this is it's a challenging practice, because, it's pain and we all want it to stop. But I find that when you connect with the body in this way, the body is like, oh, you're listening to me. Okay, I'll speak to you. And just in my previous video of the importance of connecting to, the language of the land, connect to the language of the body as well. Each practice will help build your channel, and widen and deepen and ground you and center you a lot more. So if you're connecting to the language of your body, 9 chances out of 10 you're going to be able to connect to the language of the land more, and vice versa. Both of these practices are important. When you're having a migraine, and I might, by all means, I'm going to put a disclaimer below, because I'm not up here trying to tell you that I'm curing, these practices can cure you and blah, 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 blah. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just connect, use your consciousness to widen your perception of the certain physical experiences that you're having. If you're having repetitive migraines, that's telling you that maybe you've got probably something too much going on, mentally, that's stressing you out psychologically, that's creating it. Your body's speaking to you. A big one for me, if I catch a cold, like a real bad one, like a fever, I need to sit my little self down and just relax. Sometimes it really, really is very healing to just veg out, to just watch an effing movie, or movies, or binge watch a show, or eat a slicey, slimy piece of pizza. Sometimes you just really need to anchor in your human experience. A lot of the time we are so much in our heads and so much in the past timeline and the future timeline. And I find that our human body will always remind us to be present, especially when you're feeling tired. And there's some people who work and work and work nonstop, and they keep working even though they're exhausted. They just keep going. And even when they're on the verge of burnout, and the body is like telling them, hey, please rest. Please, can I just sleep in? Please, can I just not do these 10 tasks? Let me just sleep. I just need to rest. Please. The body will beg you. The body will beg you. And you don't listen. When you don't listen to this language, when you're feeling these levels of discomfort and pain, and you notice that it keeps increasing, and then suddenly it stops, and you keep pushing yourself, and then out of the blue comes an illness, comes a dis-ease that manifests, that where it forces your ass to sit and do absolutely nothing. That is the intelligence of the body. And human beings will do this. And sometimes, intuitively, I feel it leads to death, premature death. If you go years and years and years and years, and the body's like, I am over it, I can't do anymore. But you keep going. You just continue to go like an Energizer bunny. You keep going and going and going. The body's like, I give up. And when you're and if you make it to old age, right? And there's a day where you're just like, you're done. The heart stops, stroke, whatever. You're done. So this all really is incredible. This connection to my last message of the, understanding the language of the land is very important, especially for the human collective, right? I find that with this type of practice, when you're connecting to when you're developing your understanding to the physical form and the pain and discomfort that you feel, it's an individual practice, but I believe that how the human collective can evolve their, our consciousness is through individual practice and through individual choice. All the choices, I find that the future or potential futures of our human species depends on how the type of decisions we make individually. We are all trying to look outside of ourselves and blame someone else in our external reality for the setbacks in our society, especially with this, the name that we shall not speak. I'm kidding. I'm just going to say it. With the pandemic, with the virus, the COVID-19 / COVID 2021, right? I'm going to call it COVID 2021 because we're still under lockdown and whatnot. But regardless, my point is the connection to our physical form is in the spiritual, I should say, connection to our physical form is equally as important as the mind, the spiritual evolution of the mind body, the spiritual evolution of the heart, the spiritual evolution of of us. I find that it's just we can't just leave out the body. There are spiritual concepts that say, oh, you're not your body, you're not your mind, and I'm like, well, if we weren't all these things, then why are we experiencing it? Why are we experiencing the ego mind right now? Why are we experiencing illness and dis-ease of the body right now? Why are we experiencing emotional reaction and developing emotional responses? Why? What's like, if we weren't meant to experience and to evolve, then, that's a concept that maybe I haven't fully, I don't fully understand, but it just, there's a reason why for everything, So with that, you see here, connect to your inner animal spirit. That's another thing. Connect to your inner animal. This also takes practice. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a master at doing this. My guides have revealed themselves to me over the years, and I am just now accepting it. It's taken me a long time to even like come to a point of acceptance of this of working with animal spirit and working with this type of energy, and developing my own way of connecting with them, because they've revealed themselves to me. We all have animal medicines within us. Connect to your own animal medicine and ask yourself what it's telling you, right? We all have it. We all have it. We really do. I mean, it's commonplace now. You can just go in and click in Google and discover your animal totem, but it doesn't really work that way. This is something where it's revealed to you when you are ready to receive it. And I find that the first step, if anything, if you're wanting to practice with, elements or alchemy, just, be blunt. If you want to practice alchemy, you want to practice with certain energies or entities or guides or whatever, you have to start with you. You have to practice you. You have to know your body. You have to know your mind. You have to know your heart. You have to become aware of the ego. So yeah, that I think is the message. And I really don't have anything else to share, I don't believe. Oh, there are 2 runes, I'm being told. I'll put one on one antenna and one on the other. Let's see. Okay, the pleasure rune. Okay, very feminine energy, very sensual energy. Oh, and again, we have the triangle, the triad, right? The womb of all creation, depending on how you look at it, but it's creative energy anyway. So, that's very interesting. Okay, I'm being told to develop your own practice with connecting to the body. This can be dance. This can be going hiking. This can be doing yoga. This can be engaging in conscious sex, right? Not just, I'm feeling horny, I'm feeling lustful, let's just have a romp in the bed. No, this is like actively setting intention behind the sexual acts. What else? Swimming, building something, carving something, drawing something, gardening, anything that has to do with you moving your body and creating sweat. Doing something that will create sweat, that will get that chi energy moving around, is incredibly important, and something that will bring you joy, that you really enjoy. Don't like do something that you're just like, ugh, I don't want to do this, like this is a chore. No, actually just do something that will release that pin-up energy. Also using light energy on the place that is causing you a lot of pain. This working, so yes, there's crystals and there's essential oils and there's all these other physical tools that you can use, but the most powerful thing that you can use is your own light, and the light you have within yourself that comes directly from source. So placing your both hands on the affected area and really visualize and send thought forms into this area just to connect with it. I'm not saying cure it, right? Because I think sometimes diseases and illnesses and pain are teachers, and it's teaching you something, okay? Otherwise you wouldn't be experiencing it. But it's teaching you something very, very pivotal. So connect with that teacher, connect with it, connect with that joint, connect with the pain in the neck, connect with the mind, connect. Also, one more thing I want to share is that sometimes, because I know that there are sensitive, very sensitive, powerful beings out there, sometimes you can share pain with other people. You can pick it up off of other people, so be very mindful of that. You'll know when it's something personal, like that's just you, that's teaching you something. But sometimes if you are a caretaker, you take care of a lot of sick people, or you are a sick parent or child or a lover or someone very near you that's very ill, physically ill, or they can be mentally ill, you be very, very aware and start asking yourself, is this my pain? Is this my pain? And listen to the answer. If it's yes, then you know, follow up. If it's no, then you have to release that. Don't feel like you have to be the martyr and hold on to that, because that will make you sick, okay? Like, it will make you very physically unstable. So with that, please, you know, take this message, share it, listen to it. If you would like a personal reading with me, Silvertree, please email me at silvertree@silvertree.com, or you can visit my website as well, www.silvertreesounds.com. Please visit Sounds of Silvertree. That is my second YouTube video, or YouTube channel, where I express my artistic and creative side musically. And so, yeah, if you would like to work with me personally, just let me know below, or you can send me a private message. May this message find you whole and well and healthy. All right, thank you so much.